Alrighty, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Out of My Mind. It is 7:20 a.m. and I've barely slept. This has been on my mind for a while, so here we go. Just to start off real quick, on a lighter note, because this is going to get deep here in a minute. So I've had some people reaching out, asking me, when's the next podcast? What we doing here? We want your thoughts on this. We want your thoughts on that. So here we are. First topic, Morgan Wallen's new album is a banger. It's an absolute banger. So far, my favorite song on the album is Sand in My Boots. That's probably basic, but great song, great album. Really, really happy for Morgan on that one. Second topic, national championship game. Lost a little bit of money on the Buckeyes. Went into that game. I hate both teams with everything in me. Bet on the underdog because you don't ever win money betting on the favorite. Didn't make my money back on that one. But anybody saying Ohio State shouldn't have been in, A&M should have been in, Indiana should have been in, Notre Dame should have been in, all these people, clowns. Bama would have beat anybody who played them in that national championship game. Bama is basically an NFL team. Ohio State is a ridiculously good football team. Bama is just, they're Bama. So, shout out Justin Fields. The dude's a beast. Bama's just stacked. You have the Heisman Trophy winner who put on a career performance for most wide receivers. What he did is a career game, and he did it in the first half. 215 yards, 20-something receptions, 3 touchdowns. That's a damn good game for almost any wide receiver, and he did it in the first half. That's incredible. Props to Nick Saban and the boys down there in Tuscaloosa. Absolutely incredible. Can make fun of myself for a half a second. I have been way too deep in TikTok. Last night, I sent my brother a Snapchat where I did the hat flip. It's embarrassing. I probably need therapy with how deep I am into TikTok. So that being said, now we're going to get into my favorite topic. If you're a snowflake, you probably should keep watching because you need to hear this. If you're a logical human being, you really don't need to watch this because I'm going to tell you a bunch of stuff you already know. On this pod, I've kind of tiptoed around some subjects, tried to appease everybody. I talked to a trusted advisor of mine who I will keep nameless. And we just got, as I said in the last pod, I don't do this for money. I don't have to worry about sponsors. I want y'all to hear what I say. I'd like y'all to watch this, but I don't have to answer to anybody. This is my pod. So I'm going to say what I want to say. And I've had multiple people reach out to me and ask me my thoughts on what's been going on in our country. As I said before the new year, 2021 is not a reboot. Nothing resets. Oh, thank God 2020 is over. Now we're on to 2021. And then it's like, oh, well, we're 7 days into 2021. Look what's happening. Because it's not a reboot. It's just life. But people ask my thoughts on what's been going on. So here we go. The Capitol riots. Well, not even riots. Sorry. That was my BLM coming out in me. The Capitol siege, as people like to call it. I'm not here to condone it or not condone it. It happened. It is what it is. Was it my proudest moment as a Trump supporter, as a Republican? No, because we condemned that all summer long. But was it as bad as the media would like to tell you, as Twitter would like to tell you, as Facebook would like to tell you? No, because at the end of the day, I didn't see anything burning. Did you see anything burning? I didn't see anything get lit on fire. The only person that got shot was a protester. So it's just not that big of a deal. And if you watch the facts, which I know facts really scare a lot of people. You watch the facts, they were literally let in. There were over 1 million people there. If they had really wanted to do damage, they easily could have. Serious, serious, serious damage. But there's literally videos of Capitol Police opening up barriers, letting them in, waving them on, saying, come on, come on, come on. It was allowed to happen. And then, of course, the thing comes out with Antifa. Well, Antifa was there. You know, kind of like the BLM said all summer long, well, this is not what we stand for. This is Antifa, or this is a small portion of our people. But then as soon as Republicans do it, oh, there's no way Antifa had anything to do with this. And this is all Trump supporters. This is 75 million people speaking out. Does that make sense to anybody? No. It happened. Was it the greatest thing ever? No. It probably actually did more damage for their cause than it did good, because I think that the election votes, to verify the election, it probably wouldn't have gone as it did if that had not happened. But then it happened, and then our rhinos, Republicans in name only, for those who don't know, decided all of a sudden they have to pander to this big crowd, and now we can't vote this way because it'll look badly. So we've got a bunch of Republicans sitting in the House and sitting in the Senate who are just there to tell you what you want to hear and appease you, and then they're going to vote the other way. Lindsey Graham, who I've been a huge advocate of, isn't doing squat. Most of them aren't doing squat. Mitch McConnell, who all you Democrats hate, is probably your best friend, honestly. Except when he doesn't send out your stimulus check, which you want badly. So, I just think the biggest thing about it is the hypocrisy. To sit there all summer long, whether you agree with the whole BLM thing or not, or their cause or whatever. The big phrase is, if the BLM, they were rioting or marching, as I like to call it, protesting, because their people were getting killed by cops. And the only reason that Republicans protested was because they didn't get their way, because they felt the election was stolen, which I agree with them. But it doesn't matter what your cause is or what the reason is that you're rioting, marching, protesting, whatever you want to call it. At the end of the day, BLM and their cause burned down cities, looted small businesses in their own neighborhoods, and in cities that had nothing to do with what was going on. Breonna Taylor was shot in Louisville. George Floyd was in, Minnesota, a Democratic-run city, by the way, also Louisville, Democratic-run city. And then you got people burning down their cities in Atlanta and St. Louis and Portland and New York, doing all this stuff where this stuff didn't even happen. But they're literally looting and destroying a lot of black-owned businesses in their own neighborhoods just for, a free Xbox One, free pair of J's. To compare that to what happened in the Capitol it's tone deaf. It is hypocritical. It's irresponsible. It's dishonest. It's all the above. It's ignorant. It's ignorant is what it is. So you have that. That's just hypocrisy at its greatest, because yes, were a few windows broken at the Capitol. 100%. Were a few things probably stolen? Yes. I didn't see a single building on fire. You know, I did see buildings on fire. That would be this summer when BLM took over DC and halfway burned the city to the ground. Civil War era type stuff. And, you know, at the end of the day, I believe that Antifa was involved with a lot of it, but no Trump supporter has ever denied that we have crazies. Every group has lunatics in their group. Christians, Muslims, Jews, Republicans, Democrats, Kentucky fans, Louisville fans, Duke fans. Well, Duke fans and Kentucky fans have more crazies, but every group in any section of life has lunatics, and will admit it. There are your crazy gun-toting, I'll kill you, redneck Trump supporters that 100% would do damage that I'm not proud to be associated with, 100%. But 75 million people voted for Donald Trump, whether you like it or not. I didn't see 75 million people there looting the Capitol. Saw a couple thousand. So that's just, it's hypocritical. And then let's go on to the censorship that's happening on Twitter, Facebook, Amazon, Apple, all of this. Yes, I am posting this on an iPhone. I'm going to put it on YouTube. But the censorship is crazy. We live in a free country. First Amendment rights being violated. I don't want to hear your whole, well, they're a private company rant. That's true. That's very true. And guess what they told us? If you don't like it here, go make your own social media. So Republicans did. Parler. And then what did Apple and Amazon do? They banned Parler. They say, if you don't like it, go make your own. And then we do, and they ban it. Censorship should scare the living crap out of everyone. Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, it should scare the crap out of everyone, because if they can ban the sitting president of the free world from a platform, what do you think they can do to your snowflake ass? You gave a bad review on a movie on Twitter. Well, boom, ban. You said you don't like Busch Light. Boom, ban, which you should be banned for. But it on another level. It should scare the living crap out of everyone. Moving on to my next. What happened to unity? The left screams they want unity, want unity, want unity. If you want unity, why are you trying to impeach the President of the United States once again, which already didn't work for you one time, and now you're trying to impeach the President of the United States when he's got less than a month. He's got like a week and a half now left in his term, and you're trying to impeach him because you're scared. Mom, if you're watching this, sorry. You're scared shitless of the sitting president of the United States. And you're not just scared of him, you're scared of his followers. Because you know that you didn't win the election legally or legitimately. So now you have to do everything in your power to make sure he can't run for another term. But you say unity. But that's Biden's big thing. He takes 85 minutes to say 3 words. People of America, I will do anything it takes to unify this country. Impeaching the sitting president and pissing off 75 million of his followers, that does not bring unity. And they always preach acceptance, and we can disagree. Just because we don't agree doesn't mean that we can't be friends, whatever. I'll give everybody a challenge. Pay attention to your Facebook feed and your Twitter feed. How often do you see a Trump supporter say, "This is my opinion, and if you don't agree with it, unfollow me, unfriend me, block me, I don't care"? Almost never. How often do you see Biden supporters, all 3 of them, say this? And if you can stand by the Trump if you can stand by anything Trump says, or if you can stand by what happened at the Capitol, just go ahead and unfriend me. What happened to tolerance? What happened to being able to have a civil conversation with each other about our disagreements? I have friends that have different views than me. And this will shock you. I'm very outspoken about my differences with them. We can have civil conversations. Oh, here I am, this Trump supporting, gun toting, Bible thumping redneck, they say. But I can, guess what? I can have a civil conversation. I can hang out with a gay person. I can hang out with a Biden supporter. I can hang out with somebody who's pro-choice. I can hang out with an atheist, and we can have a good time. What happened? I mean, I've literally seen families ripped apart. Jason Isbell, a great songwriter from Nashville, who wrote, he's the original writer of Cover Me Up that Morgan Wallen made famous. I don't have his tweet right here, but he tweeted something to the effect of, one of the things he's most grateful for is that his parents are still living and they're not Trumpers. And I went and looked, and I'm like, that's what you're grateful for, is that your parents aren't Trumpers. And I went and looked at the comments or the replies to this tweet, and it's all these people saying how they've lost their parents are still living, but they've lost them to Trumpism. Trump lives so rent-free in these people's heads that despite the fact that their parents disagree with them and their parents support Trump, they do not speak to their parents. I don't know whether to laugh or cry, because that's the saddest thing ever. I'm blessed with two parents who I agree with, both spiritually and politically, and I'm blessed to have them still here. I won't say Dad's age, but Dad just had a birthday, and after this pod airs, my brother and I are going to play ball with him tonight. I'm blessed to have a father that I still get to golf with, play ball with, cut wood with, shoot the breeze with, watch Andy Griffith with, yell about politics with, listen to Bob Dylan with. I'm blessed for that. There are people out there who don't have their parents anymore. People my age, younger, older. There are people who do not have their parents there and would do anything to bring their parents back. And you're going to not talk to your parents because they disagree with you politically. Family members are literally not speaking to either they're not speaking to their family, or they're sending out inflammatory emails just to start a fight because they don't agree politically. That is mind-boggling to me. Absolutely mind-boggling to me. And it doesn't say anything. That is not a knock. That doesn't make Trumpers or Republicans look bad. It makes the other side look bad. Because I disagree with multiple of my family members, not immediate. Hannah, Julie, Nate, Mom, Dad, this is not you. I disagree with some of my family members. I disagree with some of my friends politically. I'm not just going to tell them to F off because that's my friend. We can disagree. I have friends that are Kentucky fans, and I'm still friends with them. So, I mean, that just shows you how tolerant I am. I think that we are at a place in this country where something needs to change. I'm not saying that Trump's the answer, that Republicans are the answer. I think that we are at a major crossing roads in our country. And for anybody who says this is the worst time to be an American, or that the storming of the Capitol was the worst day in American history, how about I'll give you a hint. Read a freaking history book. Read a history book. This is literally the worst time to be an American if you don't count every other year of being an American. To compare this to slavery, to the civil rights movement, there was a time, literally not that long ago, my parents that lived through it, where blacks had to go to their own water fountain. They had to be served in the back of a restaurant and take it to go. They had to ride on the back of the bus. None of that is happening now. So to compare this to any time in the past is spitting in the face of the people who lived through that. The Great Depression, does that ring a bell? The Civil War, does that ring a bell? I mean, it's just, this is absolute, I don't know whether it's stupidity or ignorance, which are two different things. And if you don't know the difference, then you're ignorant. That's what the difference is here. And yes, is this rough? Do I think things are going to get a little bit worse for a while? Yes. But to even hint at the fact that America is still not the greatest place to live on the planet is absolute lunacy. And if you're one of the snowflakes still watching this, I know that I'm using some big words that you don't understand. And that's okay. We can talk about it. But wake up. Wake up. To compare what happened on January 6th to everything that happened all summer long. Biden said there is no doubt that if this was Black Lives Matter storming the Capitol, they would have been treated much differently. You're damn right they would have been treated differently. They would have been escorted in even better than the Republicans were. We watched them burn cities to the ground all summer long, shoot at cops, attack cops, chase down reporters, throw bricks through windows of small businesses. Black-owned businesses, they're that tone deaf. They're like, Black Lives Matter, let me destroy your black-owned business. And nothing happened. The media praised it. The left praised it. Chris Cuomo, everybody's favorite boy over at CNN, made the point back in the summer, show me where it says that protests are supposed to be peaceful. Well, first off, I'll give it to you in the Bill of Rights, where it says the people have the right to peacefully assemble. Is that what you're asking for, Cuomo? Because there it is, buddy. But then as soon as Republicans do a half-assed version of what BLM did all summer, all of a sudden this is violent rioting and should be shunned. My favorite part about it is that everybody's been saying as soon as Biden won the election, Trump should step down and just not stop being the president because he's not the president anymore. Well, got news for you. The president is the president for his 4 years until the next president is inaugurated and it takes over. Trump is still your president. If you're watching this, guess what? Trump's still your president. So they call and call and call for Trump to step down and not do anything. Biden is my president now. Well, then, when Trump supporters are taking over the Capitol, which is the House of the People, by the way, I might remind you of that. We own that. That's taxpayer dollars. We own that. Then Biden comes out and says Donald Trump needs to step up and say something and do something. Oh, so now you want him to be president. You've been saying not my president for 4 years now, and now you want him to be your president. Oh, by the way, Russia collusion that they called for all 4 years, that the election was hacked. Now, when Republicans say the election was stolen, it's impossible for an election to be rigged. You've been saying for 4 years. Hillary Clinton wrote a book about why she should still be president. So, again, as my trusted advisor told me, I'm done tippy-toeing around this crap. It's just somebody has to tell somebody the truth. And Twitter's banning people at this point. Facebook's banning people at this point. So far, YouTube hadn't. And I'm such a small-time guy. They probably won't ever ban me. But y'all should be scared shitless of this censorship and what's going on. And the fact that your people reelected Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House, is mind-boggling. But it's also time for Republicans to stand up because our votes clearly aren't doing the job. And we keep voting in these clowns who, just because they're a Republican. And they're not doing jack squat for us. So it's time to do something else. Maybe not vote for an 80-year-old who's been in government their entire life and has never had a real job and doesn't know what it's like to be a normal person. And yes, that's at you, Mitch McConnell, too, even though I voted for you. So, no, before you ask, I will not be running for any government office. Though I'm sure I'd be great at it. Be free Busch Light for everybody. Anyway, this has been a longer pod. Hope you stuck around. Love y'all. If you agree with me or disagree with me, we can still be friends. So y'all have a happy Tuesday, happy Wednesday, whenever you're watching this. But something's got to change. Love y'all, and we'll see you next time. This has been Out of My Mind.